Boom! What's going on, guys? 360 Digital Closing Bell here. We're live on YouTube from an undisclosed location here in Denver, Colorado, here on this gorgeous Friday, September 18th, 2020. I am your humble correspondent, Michael Tanner, joined as always by the executive producer of the show, the purveyor of the show, and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com, Stuart Turley. How you doing this afternoon?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and you're well underpaid by that compliment.
Well, I appreciate that. We have a hall pass to give out today, which I am excited to do. Stu, you've got some great stuff in the international news desk. We'll cover everything that happened in the equity markets today, considering a nice little Friday chop on the downside. Dow Jones slid about 370 points. Crude oil prices jump a little bit off the back of some decent rig counts numbers. Oasis Petroleum is only mostly dead, missing an interest payment of about $30 million. Riverstone goes clean tech with a nice SPAC. We'll cover that, as I mentioned, Stu, in the international news desk. But first, guys, just subscribe. 360 Digital Closing Bell, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. The best way to stay up to date on all of your energy market news. I mean, like I said, indices today all down at least a percentage point. Dow Jones down 370 points, or about 1 percentage points. SPY 1.2 percentage points, 33.19. Nasdaq down almost 2 percentage points, 1.8 percentage points as tech stocks continue to get pounded. Stu, I read a really interesting article yesterday. A lot of this tech frenzy that really led up this summer was a lot of options buying and a lot of what we would call covered calls. How do you cash flow a stock? Well, because you don't when a stock goes up $1, you don't see those realized gains. Well, how do you as an investor realize gains? So there's this idea that's called covered calls, where you go ahead and buy the underlying stock, but then you also buy out of the money call options, so that every quarter you can continue to actually physically cash in your stock. So what happens? Well, when a lot of these quarters roll over on some of these big tech names, we see a lot of volatile options trading. Seeing that the past 2 days, so a lot of these long covered calls that these big institutions are doing, they're getting chopped out of the market right now. When we look at crude oil, it was pretty flat, 41.14. It's only up 17% or 17 cents, about half a percentage point. 12 months dipped down the exact amount, 43.15. Like I said, 0.4 percentage points. Natural gas finally a green day, 1.37 percentage points, back to $2.07 even, $3.11 for that 12-month strip on natural gas. XOP, after being the biggest gainer in the S&P 500 yesterday, not today, pretty much flat, 47.52. That's 0.04 percentage points on the downside. OIH, which are oil field services, 115.44. That's $1.80 on the downside, about 1.6. When we look at our equities, both on the downside, Transatlantic Petroleum down 24 cents to that's 8.5 percentage points. Evolution Petroleum down to $2.50. That's 9.5 percentage points. And Tengon Gas, down 20.2 percentage points at 79 cents. And our favorite friends over at Oasis, who we will cover here, they're down 7.5 percentage points, down to 49 cents. On the upside, I almost skipped people on the upside. I would be remiss if I didn't cover people who did well today. Suncoke Energy was one of them, up to $4. That's about 10.5% increase. Next Decade Corporation, $4.90, 11 cents. And Contura Energy up to $8.14. That's a 35% move on the upside. Woohoo! Starting the day trading at $6 even, Stu. Nice little increase on the upside there. Who would have known? What do you got on the international news desk for us?
Well, a couple things. Maersk Drilling put out a thing where they are going to be reducing their CO2 emissions by 50% by 2030. But they also said that they are going to increase the number of onshore female leaders up to 30%. So they're taking ESG extremely seriously in all letters, E, S, and G. We also have an interesting one here, and Michael, just to set this up a little bit, we've had a lot of stories on Russian Arctic LNG coming to first.
Yep.
Our beloved Governor Cuomo in New York.
Meatball Cuomo.
Oh my goodness. He's a never-ending source of entertainment. But then they also were shipping, Novatech was shipping to Japan. Well, here's this article. There's $21 billion. Let's follow the money in this green world of natural gas. People are putting big money into natural gas in the Arctic for this big LNG plant coming online in 2023 and they will do 20 million tons per year in LNG in 2026.
It's a big number. That's a huge number.
Yes, you cannot tell me that everybody that thinks they're going green is not putting in money into this. Follow the money, baby. Follow the money.
I 100% agree. Is that all you got on the news desk today? So you had a busy week on the international news desk. We covered BP week on the podcast this morning. You've been wildly busy.
Oh, I'm exhausted. BP week. I like it. It's like Discovery Channel. It was a shark week. There's one more that I want your opinion on, and it's Blackrock and Larry Fink. And the article came out. I thought it was very interesting. He said that they are at 70% of their investment portfolio at 70% has an ESG rating or ESG component to it. And he's saying by the end of the year, 100% of BlackRock's investment portfolio will be ESG scored and ready. Now, that being said, all of the other folks on the conference call were saying that it's risky. And Larry Fink came back and said, our job is to educate, our job is to persuade, and too bad, we're going to be 100%. What are your thoughts?
I think my thoughts are it'll be wildly interesting if they can actually pull this off. That's, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, as you mentioned earlier, Stu, follow the money. If Blackstone's into it, I'm probably getting into it just because they've got some cash. I would like to spend it. I think when we look at the U.S., the U.S. side today, rig counts came in up 1. Permian actually was down 1 rig count to 255 total U.S. rigs. Permian Basin rigs down to 123. That was probably the biggest leader in oil prices, even though, we only saw about 0.5% or about 0.3 percentage points here in that price. Oil currently trading about 41.09 for that front month contract. Kind of the big news of the day, Oasis Petroleum, as we mentioned early in the week, had a $30 million interest payment coming up on September 15th. Announced this morning that they have missed that interest payment and entered a 30-day forbearance period. We joked on the podcast this morning, they're only mostly dead. They've got 30 days to figure it out, but we all expect probably them to become fully dead here in 30 days. It'll be interesting. When I went through and did a little bit of a research on some of the companies, Stu, that owns them. What do you think some of the big people are that own Oasis? Who do you think they own?
It isn't Larry Fink.
Well, it actually, it's hilarious. Guess what? Because BlackRock is. They've got a 14% stake and are actually the biggest. State Street comes in at number 11, Vanguard at 10%, NCAP at 9%, Goldman Sachs 8.1 percentage points, and Dimensional Resources 8 percentage points. Also, what's interesting is we were able to figure out their midstream affiliate has about $488 million in RBL debt, but it is not included in this stress forbearance. So maybe we'll see their midstream. It'll be interesting to see what happens when this thing gets flipped around. Man, it was a busy week, Stu. I highly recommend checking out our podcast on the Oil and Gas Show podcast feed tomorrow. This morning, really kind of covers everything that happened the week. We missed anything today, Stu?
I don't know, but you got a hall pass to hand down.
I have never been honestly more happy to give it a hall pass. For whatever reason, I am sapped today. So with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and let you get out of here, get back to work. Thank you for checking out the 360 Digital Close here on the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com. We will see you guys Monday morning for the Week Ahead podcast and in the afternoon for the Digital Ticker.